Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Brighton Town Board. It's November 12th, 2025. I'm Bill Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and I'm calling this meeting to order. If you are physically able to do so, please rise and join us in the pledge to the flag. Councilmember Warner, if you would lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In just a couple minutes, we will be starting the open forum portion of our meeting. The open forum is that portion of the meeting where members of the public can share their comments with the town board. If you are live streaming us on our YouTube channel and you would like to participate either in the open forum or in the public hearing that we also have on the agenda tonight concerning the potential removal of certain street trees, you'll have to log into the Teams meeting, which allows public participation. And if you go to the town's webpage, www.townofbrighton.org, you'll find instructions on how to do that. For many years, our town board meetings have been made accessible to our deaf and hard of hearing community, and we thank our ASL interpreters for being here tonight and making that possible. Thank you very much. If you're here in person, all the materials for tonight's meeting are out on the table outside the door. If you are watching us remotely, those same materials are on the town's webpage. We'll start with our presentations. And I'm going to invite Gary Ginsberg to join me, please. Thank you.
Good evening.
Of course, yesterday, November 11th, was Veterans Day. And as always, the town of Brighton observed Veterans Day at the Brighton Veterans Memorial. The Buffalo Soldiers presentation team from the Pennington Moy VFW post served as color guard for the ceremony, and we deeply appreciate their many years of service, not only at our Veterans Day, but at a variety of patriotic ceremonies that the town holds throughout the year. But each year on Veterans Day, the town recognizes a local veteran or an organization that serves veterans. This year, we recognized retired Army Command Sergeant Major Gary Ginsberg, immediate past national commander of the Jewish War Veterans of the USA. Gary has been an active leader for many years with the Jewish War Veterans, both at the national level but also locally with the David J. Kaufman Post number 41 of the Jewish War Veterans right here in Brighton and in the Rochester area. As many of you know, the Kaufman Post was instrumental in the development of the Veterans Memorial and participated in the funding of that project. At the national level, the Jewish War Veterans are the oldest continuously operating veterans organization in America. And to have one of our very own as the national commander of that organization is truly something exciting. I know your year and your years leading up to it were full of work and travel and all of the things that it's important to do to advance an organization like yours. So it gives me great pleasure to read our Veterans Day proclamation and also to share the respect, the honor of everybody in the room that we have for you, your work, and the work of the Jewish War Veterans. Whereas the Jewish War Veterans of the United States of America is the oldest continuously active veteran service organization in the nation, established in 1896 by 63 Jewish veterans of the Civil War to challenge anti-Semitic rumors that no Jews fought for the Union cause. And whereas locally, Brighton's David J. Kaufman Post, number 41 of the Jewish War Veterans, proudly adheres to the organization's pledge to uphold, and I quote, to uphold the fair name of the Jew and fight his or her battles wherever unjustly assailed, to encourage the doctrine of universal liberty, equal rights, and full justice to all men and women. And whereas today we are pleased to recognize one of our very own, the 93rd National Commander of the Jewish War Veterans of the United States of America, Command Sergeant Major Gary Ginsberg, who is himself a third-generation veteran. And whereas during his 2025 command, National Commander Ginsberg has worked hard to meet his pledge of expanding outreach, reinforcing veteran advocacy, and building on the proud tradition of standing firm against hatred, bigotry, and anti-Semitism. Whereas National Commander Ginsberg has long embraced the egalitarian values of the Jewish War Veterans, and we are honored that he has consistently given back to the community and maintains a fierce belief in and allegiance to the United States of America as one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Brighton Town Supervisor William W. Maley, along with the members of the Brighton Town Council, do hereby recognize November 11th, 2025, as Veterans Day in the town of Brighton. We thank the 93rd National Commander of the Jewish War Veterans of the United States of America, Command Sergeant Major Gary Ginsberg, for helping us understand and embrace our real and full history as one nation ever working towards peace, and to express our heartfelt appreciation to those men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces, especially those who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we may enjoy the rights and freedoms of democracy. And this proclamation is signed the 11th day of November, Veterans Day in the year 2025. Gary, thank you for everything you've done. I'm very proud to present this to you.
Hold it, make sure it's not upside down here. Okay.
Gary, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'll just say a few words. Again, thank you for the honor on behalf of the Jewish War Veterans of the United States. We have two principal missions. You know, we advocate for veterans, regardless of race, religion, or gender, and we're also a voice against hatred, bigotry, and anti-Semitism, wherever the source, whomever the target. And we're basically, I think we're the only veterans organization that's primarily composed of Jewish men and women, and we're probably the only Jewish organization that's composed mostly of veterans. But again, we care about veterans, and we care about the fight against bigotry and hatred. And I'm from Syracuse originally, but I've been living over here for several years now. And I just want to say Brighton is a tremendous community, very inclusive and respectful. It's aligned with the values of the Jewish War Veterans. So thank you for this honor. It means a great deal. Thank you very much. And what I'm going to do, this is off script. The supervisor doesn't know it. But as National Commander, you know, I would occasionally present Commander's coin. I'm going to give the town supervisor one of our Jewish War Veteran coins. Thanks again.
National Commander Ginsberg, I'm very pleased, very proud to receive this. As those of you that have been in my office know, I have a number of challenge or command coins on my desk, and I will display this along with them. think we may have all seen President Obama yesterday and the respect that he showed for honor flight veterans, boarding the plane, greeting them, giving them presidential challenge points. Quite an honor, quite a sign of respect. Our second proclamation honors November as Native American Heritage Month. While Native American Heritage Month was first established by presidential proclamation by President George Bush in 1990, this year the president chose not to issue a formal proclamation in honor of the month, instead simply issuing a message referencing Native American Heritage Month. The town of Brighton recognizes Indigenous Peoples Day, of course, in October rather, we just did that. But we also recognize and formally recognize November as Native American Heritage Month, as it has been recognized at the federal and state level. And tonight, again, we do so with a formal proclamation in light of the significant history of our Native American brothers and sisters in Brighton and in this region, as well as the severe damages that past practices and policies have caused to Native Americans across our country. Tonight, we acknowledge that the town of Brighton is situated on the ancestral and traditional lands of the Onondaga tribe of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, whom we recognize and respect as the traditional custodians of this land throughout the generations. We pay our respect to Onondaga elders, both past and present. We celebrate the history, culture, and traditions of the Onondaga, which are truly worthy of our understanding and study, and we praise those who keep those traditions alive. We support efforts to ensure that we and future generations continue to respect and recognize the Onondaga in a way that is honest and truthful, so that in the words of Sakajawatha, the great Haudenosaunee chief and orator, who was also known as Red Jacket, we may always work together to brighten the chain of friendship. And I'll now read the town of Brighton's proclamation honoring November as Native American Heritage Month. Whereas the roots of Native American Heritage Month can be traced back to this region and to Dr. Arthur C. Parker, an early proponent of the creation of what he called, quote, American Indian Day. He was a member of the Seneca Nation, served as the New York State archaeologist, and was appointed director of the Rochester Museum and Science Center. Whereas this year, the theme of Native American Heritage Month is, quote, tribal nations, sovereignty, trust, and resilience, which reminds us that Native history is not frozen in the past, but continues to grow and shape our communities today. Whereas, significantly, the longest valid treaty between the United States and Native Americans is the Treaty of Canandaigua, which was signed by the Haudenosaunee Confederacy on November 11th, 1749, and annually commemorated at the original meeting site, now home to the Ontario County Courthouse. Whereas at a time when history is being rewritten and atrocities denied, it becomes essential to know our U.S. history, share stories of the past with others, and recognize the ongoing work and struggles of Native American individuals and the 574 federally recognized Native American tribes. Whereas the town of Brighton is committed to honoring, celebrating, and elevating Indigenous peoples and cultures by sharing the long and rich history of Native Americans, including that of the Haudenosaunee, whose governance model of participatory democracy is the very basis for our present-day democracy. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, on behalf of our entire Town Council, do hereby proclaim November as Native American Heritage Month in the town of Brighton and implore our residents to learn about and celebrate the richness of Native American heritage, keeping alive their trials, boundless courage, and hope for the future. And this proclamation was signed this 12th day of November, 2025, by myself and by the members of the Brighton Town Board. Thank you. We'll now begin our open forum, which we hold at the beginning of every town board meeting. The open forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board concerning any matter relating to the town, whether or not it's an item on our agenda this evening. However, I would note that for anyone that's here to speak concerning the public hearing on our agenda tonight, which relates to the removal and replacement of certain trees located in the town rights-of-way, I would encourage you to wait until the public hearing is called, and that will happen right after, basically right after the open forum. That way, your comments will be included in the record of the public hearing on the tree removal. But if you would like to speak during the open forum and you're here in person, when I finish describing the ground rules on open forum, please raise your hand. When I call on you, please come up to the podium to speak. If you're participating in the meeting remotely, again, if you want to speak during the open forum or during the public hearing that will be coming up shortly, you must first join the meeting on Teams, and there are detailed instructions for doing so on the town's webpage. Once you've come on and are recognized to speak, you'll be unmuted if you use the raised hand function. I do ask all speakers during the open forum, whether in person or remote, to please state your name and address before speaking. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes during the open forum. I will give you a 30-second warning before the 3 minutes is up. We may not be able to answer questions you may ask during the open forum, particularly if your question relates to a matter that's not on the agenda tonight. But our goal here this evening and during every open forum that we hold is to give you the opportunity to share your thoughts, your questions with the town board, and for us to be able to listen to your words. Therefore, please direct your remarks to the town board and not to the room or to other speakers. Please avoid personal attacks and outbursts of any kind, including applause, boos, or the like, during the open forum, out of respect for the speakers and for the time of everyone here tonight. Also, out of respect for everybody in the room who may not be able to see, I don't see anybody with signs, but we ask that signs not be displayed during the open forum. Persons who do not follow these rules and policies will be warned. Repeated failure to follow these rules or to follow other directions from the chair may result in your speaking privileges ended early, being directed to leave the meeting, or the early termination of the open forum. Of course, I don't anticipate needing to do any of those things, but let me ask, is there anyone here who would like to address the town board during the open forum? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, member of the town board. I've spoken in the past about the urge for a dog park in the Buckland Park. I just had some additional information I wanted to supply. I spoke to some of the maintenance people in the park, and I asked them, how many dogs do you normally get in the course of a day? And they said somewhere between 20 and 30, and that would be between 600 and 900 a month that would come through the park. I should point out, for sanitary reasons, you have 2 playgrounds in the park, as well as a lot of people using the park.
So I think a dog park would be very appropriate. I also might point out that the leash law in Brighton limits how much exercise I personally can give my dog. I live in a condominium, 98 Marquette Drive. I forgot to introduce myself, Jeff Schwartz. And by having a park, I'd be able to give my dog exercise, which otherwise isn't available to me. I thank you very much for your attention.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
What is your image of a dog park? I've seen varying sizes. I've seen them multiple acres to maybe a tenth of an acre.
Well, if we're going to put it in Buckland Park, the ones that I've seen have two sections, one for dogs 25 pounds and smaller, and the other for larger dogs. As far as the amount of room, probably 4 times the size of this room would be more than adequate.
For both sections in total?
I'm not an engineer, I'm afraid.
Okay, but because I've seen them in other towns.
I did.
And also the county has a dog park down at.
I did adopt an Australian cattle dog from a puppy mill that had been there for several years, and I know that type of dog needs some exercise, which I'm not able to give it living in a condominium. Any other question I might be able to answer? Sorry, I can't be more exact.
No, and that's
what your image of it is what I'm interested in.
And that's okay. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you coming in. And, certainly as we move forward with our planning for a community center, which I anticipate will be built in Buckland Park, we will inevitably be looking at some of the adjunct features to make not only the community center, but the park as useful to community residents as possible. And I have no doubt that one of the things we'll be thinking about is whether that would be a good site for a dog park.
I would stress the sanitation of it. With that number of dogs coming through in the course of a month, that is between 600 and 900. And you do have children's playgrounds on 2 ends of the park, as well as other sports activities. I would think it would be important in that regard for public safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board during the open forum? Well, hearing none, can I then have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Bill, I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
There it is. It's here somewhere. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. We do have one public hearing tonight on the agenda. It concerns the removal of trees under the town tree law, which regulates the process for the removal of trees in town-owned properties, specifically in this case in town street rights of way. The trees in question are a 34-inch, and when I reference the size of the tree, it's the diameter at breast height, a 34-inch silver maple at 35 Sonora Parkway, 38-inch maple at 90 Southland Drive, a 31-inch silver maple at 100 Edgeview Lane, a 40-inch Norway maple at 105 Penarrow Road, a 50-inch silver maple at 117 Sunset Drive, and a 34-inch Norway maple at 186 Dale Road. Dan, has the necessary legal notice been given in this matter?
Yes, Supervisor. A notice was published in the November 3rd edition of the Daily Record.
Thank you. And Bill, notice was also sent to the property owners and adjoining property owners.
Notices were set out on the 24 days ago.
Okay,
20-day notices. Yeah.
great.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Then, in that case, legal notices having been given, I declare this public hearing to be open. Is there anyone that would like to address the board concerning any of these trees, or all of these trees? Yes, please. And if you would, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Mary Nelson, 105 Pan Arrow, and what I would like to address is the fact that when we had limbs come down on the, whatever size it is in our front yard, it's a huge Norwegian maple that's
40
beautiful.
inch.
Yep, 40
40
inch.
inch,
It's
yeah.
beautiful
Which is a
old
big tree.
But we had one big branch come down in a windstorm, and my daughter and I were able to take care of that with help from a neighbor. But then I talked with the city, and they sent out people to look at it, and then they sent out, I don't know, what do you call it, somebody up in that thing that took all the bad limbs out, and it took them a long time. But what I want to say is thank you, because we had a good friend and a 7-year-old neighbor sitting on the bench that was crushed by the one limb that did come down. Luckily, that was the night before, not the afternoon that the limb came down. And the men that came out, the men and women, I don't know, that came out and did the work at the house were absolutely great. They cleaned everything up. They moved anything that was breakable or in damage of being hurt in the front yard. So I want to just congratulate them for what they've done. And I know the board will decide whatever's the best. And we're just trying to think about having more sunshine in the front yard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
That's great to hear. Thank you very much.
That's Bill Hafner, our highway superintendent. They are part of his team, and it's always good to hear
Yeah,
that kind of
absolutely.
feedback. Thank you very, very much. And again, I think as we were mentioning when we were talking beforehand, and I appreciate your final comments about, that keeping things green. We will, our intent always is to replant one or more trees, generally in close proximity to where we took the tree out. And we're always happy, our arborist is always happy. We have a list of desirable street trees. We're happy to talk with residents about that kind of tree they might want to have in their front yard. So please feel free to reach out to Bill Hafner, and he'll make sure you're in touch with our arborist.
Yes, I can get you the list of the tree order, and you can pick from that. And you're welcome.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Wendy Nilsson, and I'm also from 105 Pan Arrow. I definitely want to echo what my mom said about what a great job the folks did when they came out. They did a tremendous amount of trimming on the tree, and I don't know if it has been considered that maybe it could stay the way it is now. I don't know.
Unfortunately, due to the health of it, we were lightening up the tree as much as we could to keep it safe until it comes down. So,
Okay.
yeah, we try and go through every channel we can before we cut a tree down, whether it be trimming and treat them the best we can. But unfortunately, some of them are just beyond the point of saving.
Bill, I know that the arborist does recommend removal. Was that report prepared after the trimming?
It was prepared during, yeah, the limb coming down, that's what caused us to want to go out there and assess it.
But the risk assessment that's in here reflects the fact that trimming was done.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I just wanted to clarify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wants to address the board concerning any of these trees or all of these trees during the public hearing? Hearing none, then I declare this public hearing to be closed, and I'll ask Councilmember Corrado for a motion.
Yes, in the matter regarding the removal and replacement of a 34-inch silver maple at 35 Sonora Parkway, a 38-inch maple at 90 Southland Drive, a 31-inch silver maple at 100 Edgeview Lane, a 40-inch Norway maple at 105 Panero Road, a 50-inch silver maple at 117 Sunset Drive, and a 34 38-inch Norway maple at 186 Dale Road. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion by the board? I would just note to clarify that under our tree law, which is Chapter 175 of the Town Code, we go through quite a process of we have the arborist reports, makes an evaluation as to the risk level, both as it relates to person and property. The Conservation Board of the town, which also serves as our tree council, reviews each one of those. And for trees that are 30 inches or larger in diameter, because of the significance of those trees, there's one final step, and that is coming to the town board with a public hearing. So members of the public have the opportunity to weigh in, particularly members of the public who live in close proximity. So that's how we've gotten here tonight. That's why each of these trees are so large. We do review other trees at those Conservation Board meetings, but only 30-inch and up comes here to the town board. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Public hearings are now closed. Thank you very much. Communications. Can I have a motion, Robin, to receive and file the communications?
Certainly, I move that we receive and file the communications.
Second. Sorry, second.
We have two related communications tonight. They're both from Anne Marie Braid, Animal Health Inspector for the State Department of Agriculture and Markets, Division of Animal Industry. They relate to inspections under state law, first of our municipal animal shelter, and second of the services provided by our, it says dog control officer, but in our case, our dog control officer is actually our animal control officer. Both of these letters, both of which are dated October 21st, both are based on inspections that were conducted by Ms. Braid on October 14th. And in both cases, she found both our shelter and the operations of our dog control officer to be satisfactory. In other words, they passed, we passed. So those are the two items of communication we have tonight. Any questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll on the motion to receive and file.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Committee reports, community services. Robin.
Thank you. The Community Services Committee has not met in the intervening timeframe since our last town board meeting. I do have some updates to share from our Parks and Recreation Department heads. From our Parks Department, the theme is seasonal transition at the Parks Department. All athletic fields and seasonal bathroom facilities were closed on November 1. Signage was posted to remind the public of that change. The department's seasonal mowing ended the week of October 27th. All annual alarm inspections and fire and building inspections were completed at the various lodges and park facilities, and park benches and tables have been restained, as well as irrigation systems been winterized. Various trail maintenance projects and brush cutback are being concluded for the season. Then from our Recreation Department, our Brighton Fall Program registration is now open for all fall programs. Please check out our fresh new lineup of programs and events online. Check back often, as programs are always added throughout the season as they do become available. Full details are, of course, online at the Town of Brighton Recreation website. That is actually, it's changing.
It's changed.
BrightonNY.org or
.gov.
.gov/REC. Sorry.
And I'll be
then-
talking a little bit more
Yes.
about that later.
Wonderful. The Brighton Farmers Market will return to the Winter Farmers Market Barn at 1435 West Fall Road on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Please, no early birds. Beginning Sunday, November 23rd through Sunday, April 19th. There will be no market on April 5th. We'll remind you as that date comes up. The town of Brighton will be hosting the 22nd Annual Veterans Luncheon on Friday, December 5th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This year's event will move from the Carmen Clark Lodge to the Winter Farmers Market Barn at 1435 West Fall Road. So space should no longer be an issue. This is a very well-attended event, a service to the community, and special thanks, as always, to our former Parks attendant, Rich Wagner, for efforts to bring this event to fruition annually. Other fun upcoming programs through the Recreation Department: December recess camp, dog training, dog training, slime night, fitness programs, a craft sesh, and so much more. The next meeting of the Community Services Committee is next Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 10 a.m. or immediately following our Finance and Administrative Services Committee meeting at the Brighton Recreation Center Multipurpose Room. Please do access the Recreation Department through the Winton Road entrance. As always, members of the public are invited and encouraged to attend. That's all I have.
Thanks, Robin.
Welcome.
Finance and Administrative Service.
You're expanding the scope of the committee, Bill. The Finance and Administrative Services Committee last met on November 5th. We discussed various change orders that are related to the Town Hall renovation project, but one other item we discussed that I want to mention is the installation of a rumble strip adjacent to the French Road Bridge project, which will help keep pedestrians safe and drivers safe. And I have to say that project was done very quickly. So thanks to the town and to, of course, the Public Works Department that got that project done so quickly to keep our public safe. Our next meeting will be on November 19th, right here at 8:30 a.m.
Thanks, Nate. Chris, Public Safety.
Thanks, Bill. We've not had a meeting since our last town board meeting, and we've had to defer our November meeting 1 week because of conflict with Veterans Day. So our next meeting will be next week, Tuesday, the 18th of November at 8 a.m. The public is invited to attend.
Thanks, Chris. Christine, Public Works.
Same report for Public Works. We did not meet last week. We have not met since the last town board meeting. We will meet on the 18th at 9 a.m. Come join us. It's always interesting.
Thank you. New business, reading and approval of claims. Nate?
Got back to me fast. Earlier today, I reviewed claims totaling $1,020,359.37. Notable claims include a payment to the American Rock Salt Company, a payment for road salt, which reminds us it's that time of year again. I couldn't believe I looked out the window the other day and it's snowing. Let's see. Also, payments made to Milestone Construction Partners, LLC, payment for construction services for the Town Hall renovation project. Claims all appear to be in order, and I move for them to be approved.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll on the motion to read and approve the claims.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Chris?
Bill, the next item is to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the County of Monroe for Stop DWI grant funding in an amount not to exceed $13,079. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
Chief, you and I talked about this year's grant. This is a grant we receive every year, but why don't you?
It's just, excuse me, we do receive this grant every year. It's slightly less than what we received last year, and this money will provide for extra patrols in the town for officers to be out there on overtime, especially during high visibility enforcement campaigns, holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc.
Is part of the reason that it's somewhat less that there have been fewer?
Yeah, it's based on
DWI
numbers.
arrests?
Yeah, it's based on numbers from previous years. And when I say slightly less, I think it was maybe $1,000 less, so slightly less.
I mean, you hate to get less money. On the other hand, you like to know that if, in fact, that means that there are fewer people driving while intoxicated, it's a good thing. Good. Okay, we have a motion. It's been seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Maley?
Aye. And Chris, why don't you do the next one, too?
Bill, the next item is to declare as surplus 38 Axon X26B tasers and related accessories for donation or disposal. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
Chief, again?
Yeah, so these tasers are 3 generations older than the ones we currently have. There's really no use for them. They're not warranted anymore. They're unreliable for the officers to carry. They have battery issues, connectivity issues, so they're basically parts. So I'm going to find an agency here, hopefully in Monroe County, that still has the older taser models, and they can use them for parts.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Maley?
Aye. And one last police-related matter. Chris?
Bill, the next item is to declare as surplus one 2018 Dodge Charger vehicle to be disposed of through online or in-person auction or interdepartmental transfer. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
And I know there was a little wing and eyeing about the Dodge Charger,
Well,
but
Charger's not been the same since about 67.
You're right, they're costly to repair. They do have a lot of mechanical issues.
and this is our last one, right?
I believe it is.
I don't
believe it's
think
our
we
last
bought
one.
any since then.
Nope.
Yeah. So obviously, this is your recommendation. It's got lots of miles and
Yeah.
nothing but trouble.
Yeah, we roll these vehicles down in-house to give them to another department that may use them, but this has some pretty significant mechanical issues, so we'll probably just auction this one off.
Sounds good. Thank you. Anything further? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
I'll just say quick, as the next in line maybe to get a vehicle, I appreciate you not pushing the lemon on us, so thank you. Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Maley?
Aye. Robin?
Certainly. The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute a change order with NX Architecture for design services related to the Town Hall renovation project in an amount not to exceed $17,700. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
This change order relates to the exterior of the project, the site itself, and some discussions relating to the site design of the parking facility and the traffic lanes through the town hall complex, particularly with an eye towards traffic calming. One of these design modifications is to consider one of the tabletop, rather than, we'll see what the costs are, but, the little speed humps that you see on, for example, on South Landing Road. But the tabletop would be a higher with a flattened area that would align with the sidewalk that would allow people to come back from Sylvan Road across to the town hall campus. That's a pathway that generates a lot of traffic, so we wanted to consider that tabletop as well as some other design changes for the site.
And if I may, the term is speed table.
Speed table, thank you. I keep
Not
calling
to,
it
not to
tabletop.
speed over it, but to reduce speeds
Speed table.
as you approach.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's there's one of those on Exchange Boulevard along the river.
Yes.
Coming in like Cornhill there.
Yep,
Works pretty well.
and I've seen them quite a bit, actually, where one of my daughters used to live, very close to her old house. Any further discussion? We have a motion, it's been seconded. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailing?
Aye. Robin, why don't you
Certainly.
do the next one?
The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute a change order for the Town Hall renovation project with Landry Mechanical in an amount not to exceed $4,173.24. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
As you'll see in the letter, this change order relates to relocating a gas vent pipe that is close to the generator transfer switch, which must be moved to meet code requirements. It's a approximate $4,173 change order. Glenn, anything?
You said it all there. It's within 3 feet of the transfer switch, so to make sure that if something happens with that transfer switch, it won't impact the gas pipe. So we're just adjusting the location.
Good. Further discussion? Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailing?
Aye. And one more.
Certainly. The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute change orders for the Town Hall renovation project with Milestone Construction Partners in an amount not to exceed $3,110. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
These are two very small change orders which total $3,110. I'll just read how it's described. Field modifications for the beam alignment at the cast-in-place footing and CMU wall support. Glenn, you want to translate that for us lay people?
So basically, we've got a concrete block wall that, as they did demolition work and did some realignment with strengthening the floor above, it impacted the structural stability of that wall because the walls that were in place that were holding that firm were removed and replaced with the gypsum board, the drywall boards. So this is basically reinforcing it so it doesn't fall in on the bathroom or the employee break area.
Good. And then the second one is relating to fencing in the rear, moving some of that fencing around to enable the walkway from Sylvan Road onto the Town Hall campus to be asphalted and make sure we've got access for the surrounding neighborhood during the winter.
Yep. And with that one, Milestone readjusted their staging yard and also readjusted the fencing for their, where they keep some equipment storage in their trailers. But it opened up a pathway where Bill Hafner's team installed an asphalt walkway that will be able to be maintained. So in the wintertime when it snows and we're not able to clear the pathway where that blue matting was, this opens a direct path into the library.
Good.
Nice.
Good. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailing?
Aye. Christine?
Yes, the next matter seeks to authorize the solicitation of requests for proposals for architectural and engineering services for outdoor recreational amenities, specifically the pavilion, the pool, splash pad, and ADA accessible playground sited in the rear of Town Hall. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
I think I heard Robin first. Yeah, thanks for outlining that. And one of the other things that is specifically in the RFP is that firm will coordinate community input. We want to make sure that we've got, I think, 4 great amenities, either new or replacing existing facilities, so we're interested in getting community input on a set of facilities that I think will have great synergy with the library, really be a destination for families in Brighton, and a very walkable destination for many, many of those families.
I think it's particularly important that since we are being very intentional about an accessible playground, that our families who know what their children need will be a part of the conversation and the design process.
Yeah, absolutely. And as part of that, the Sway Fund glider that the Brighton Kiwanis Club donated to the town, which is a fully accessible recreational facility, will be relocated. That has also been temporarily removed during construction, but that will also be relocated in proximity to the playground area as an additional accessible component of our recreational activities there. So we have motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Miller?
Aye. Nate, the next one, please.
The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to enter into a supplemental agreement with Ravi Engineering for the Chelmsford Lane Culvert Project in the amount of $100,000. I move that we approve this motion as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second?
You'll recall that previously, in 2023, after the collapse of the ground under that culvert, we retained Ravi Engineering to provide conceptual design work. That conceptual design work was also used as the basis for applying to the state of New York for a Bridge New York grant. And in June, we authorized the acceptance. We were successful in getting that Bridge New York grant, just as we had one for the French Road project. We have a grant of $840,000 now for the Chelmsford Lane Bridge. $30,000 of that is being used by the New York State Department of Transportation for right-of-way services. Obviously, it's important that since this is a bridge and the state DOT has a level of jurisdiction there, that all of the right-of-way issues are addressed. So they're in the process of doing that. But this will give a more thorough design for that bridge that will then be the basis for entering into construction contracts to do the work. So we have a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Miller?
Aye. Nate, since you talked about the rumble strips.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Accent Striping for the installation of a 300-inch rumble strip adjacent to the new sidewalk installed during the French Road Bridge repair project.
300 foot.
300 foot. That's a lot bigger than 300 inches.
12
That'd also be a strange.
12 times bigger.
It would also be a strange unit of measurement if we just did 300 inches instead of feet. Anyway, 300 feet. French Road Bridge project to enhance safety in an amount not to exceed $4,500. I move that we approve this motion as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second?
And Bill, if I understand correctly, although this authorizes up to $4,500, the actual cost is going to be $3,000.
Yeah, that's correct. I thought the board and Earl would be happy to hear that.
Yeah, this is something that when we did the walkthrough, really jumped out at me. Did a walkthrough with the construction team, and that brief area, well, 300-foot long area, is at grade with the sidewalk, and there is no tree lawn or any other natural barrier, so that the purpose of the rumble strip will, at a relatively low cost, provide a warning to any driver that strays off of the road towards where the pedestrian sidewalk is. It's one of the great aspects of that French Road project is that we were able to complete sidewalk connection out to Winton Road. So we really made an important thoroughfare, what had not really been a safe pedestrian thoroughfare for that entire distance. Now it is one. And of course, you've got French Road School, you've got all of the various condominiums in Eastbrook and the other apartments and homes in that area. So in a lot of ways, that project was a great win. This will enhance the safety of it. So Nate, you made the motion, I'm sorry, seconded by Robin? All right. Further discussion? Bill, anything else you want to add?
Other than they work good.
Good.
Take a ride down there and try them out.
Great.
They'll wake you up.
Then Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Manna?
Aye. And finally, Christine, the public hearing for the removal of one more tree.
Yes, the last matter seeks to set a public hearing on December 10th at 7 p.m. for the removal and replacement of one 52-inch silver maple at 425 French Road. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
And that public hearing will be held at our December 10th town board meeting. Further discussion, you have material about the tree here in your packet. Further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Manna?
Aye. Matters of the supervisor, a couple things tonight. One, and this is some very important news, I want to let the community know at one point, over 10,000 households in the town of Brighton were part of the Community Choice Aggregation Program. That was a program that allowed, with the engagement of a consultant as well as an outside electricity supplier, the town was able to provide fixed price, 100% renewable sourced electricity to participants in the Community Choice Aggregation Plan. Unfortunately, as those of you that were a part of the program know, Source Power, which was a DBA used by a company called Icon Energy, was supposed to, after a competitive bid, the way these Community Choice Aggregation projects work is you competitively bid to get the lowest, best possible wholesale price, because we're coming to them with 10,000 customers. And they had the lowest bid. But unfortunately, about a year and a half after the program started, Source Power defaulted on their contract, and all of us that were in the Community Choice Aggregation Plan were very suddenly thrust back to RG&E at significantly higher and now volatile rates. We had gotten a very good rate. We started the Community Choice Aggregation Program at a time when electricity rates were very, very low compared to what they are today. So we locked in those rates, but Source Power defaulted. We initiated, on behalf of the 10,000 plus residents, a class action lawsuit against Source Power. Source Power has now settled that class action lawsuit with the town, and residents who were part of the Community Choice Aggregation Plan will be receiving checks in settlement of that class action, should be before the end of 2025.
It begins now, and then it's so that the total window is about 6 months. And so it allows for a pretty considerable amount of time so that the residents are informed, they get the notices, and can make a decision on whether,
Okay.
whether to accept the funds.
Okay,
So-
all right. So, yeah, you're right, the process sort of begins now. And the total fund that will be going to residents of the town will be approximately $1 million, funded through Sources Insurance. The amount of the check that you will receive will depend on, largely on whether your household stayed in the program the whole way until Source Power defaulted, or if you opted out of the program after first opting in, that you opted out later. And that group, which is a smaller group, will get somewhat less. But I think this is as attractive an ending to what should have been and was for quite some time a great story, an opportunity to get renewable energy at a very attractive fixed rate. But staying with it, fighting this lawsuit, and I do want to thank the individual plaintiffs who agreed, because for legal reasons, it was important that it was not just the town, but that there were individual plaintiffs who themselves were also Source Power customers who were personally damaged by their breach. So stay tuned. We'll be keeping the community informed about that as we go. A new program, a county program. Monroe County is beginning the development of a climate adaptation and resiliency plan. They are working with local planning firm, Highland Planning, to develop this plan. And as part of that process, they will be holding an initial public meeting to let the community know about the plan, what it will entail, and begin a process of receiving community input. Those first two public meetings will be held next Tuesday, November 18th. At noon that day, there will be a virtual meeting held on Zoom. And I'm sorry, the link to the Zoom address was too long. We'd be here all night if I tried to read it all to you, and it would be confusing anyway. But we will get that link up on the town's webpage so people can find it. That will be at noon, a virtual meeting. Then at 6 p.m. that same night, Tuesday, November 18th, there will be an in-person meeting on this climate adaptation and resiliency plan, 6 o'clock at the Children's School of Rochester, School 15, located at 85 Hillside Avenue in the city of Rochester. That will be the in-person session. We chuckled a little bit earlier about the change in domain names. Yes, the town has transitioned. The state legislature passed new legislation that requires most municipalities with a population over 1,500 people, to switch to, if they don't already have, we will all have to switch to a .gov domain name. Of course, the town of Brighton has been, as we all know, because we've heard it and done it a million times, townofbrighton.org, because townofbrighton.gov was already taken by one of the other 30 or so Brightons across the United States. So we have completed the cutover this past weekend to a new domain name, BrightonNY.gov. BrightonNY.gov. Now, we will be keeping the old .org domain name in place at least for a year, and I suspect longer than that. There's very little reason not to keep that in place just so it can roll over into our new domain name. But again, the law requires us to make that change, requires us to do it before year end. We have comfortably now completed that directive. And I want to thank our IT department, in particular our director, Jeremy Lutz, as well as Barb Snyderman, for making that transition happen pretty seamlessly. We're still dodging a few little, nits and gnats here and there, things that have been in place to respond to .org, and we'll fix them and get them right. But I really appreciate the work that Jeremy did to make this transition. Finally, it wouldn't be fall without me talking about leaves. Right now, as we do most years, we're not doing a separate containerized pickup. All of our forces are being used in our bulk pickup process. That doesn't mean we won't pick up containers. If you have containers, whether it's a garbage can or a brown paper bag, remember, not a plastic bag. Those big brown bags that you can buy at some of the hardware stores around town or the big box stores, those work well. But however you put them out by the street, don't put them in the street. If you have a tree lawn, that area between the sidewalk and the street, put them there. If you have a landscaper, what we found is a lot of people's landscapers are the ones who blow those leaves right into the street. And that's a problem in a lot of ways. It's a problem for people riding their bikes or driving because they're dodging piles that are illegally placed in the street. When we get rain, it can cause flooding. It can cause the storm drains to get clogged with those leaves. And of course, if it snows, if we get a significant snow, then the plows are plowing up the leaves along with the snow, and that becomes a problem, becomes really unsightly. So please, please, please remember, leave your leaves, get it? Leave your leaves or other debris on the lawn, whether it's, if you don't have a sidewalk, just put it on your lawn close to the street. If you do have a sidewalk, put them between the sidewalk and the street. If you're not sure when we're going to be coming, go to the map. There's a map on the town's webpage that will show you where, it has the town divided into sections. It will show you where our crews are picking up now and where we expect them to be over the next couple days. And you can sort of extrapolate from there where they're going to be. This is the heavy time of the year. They move through town a little slower right now. Is this their third pass-through, Bill, at this point?
We're at our second pass with two
Okay.
crews.
All right.
And we started working Saturdays, so you'll see us.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Again, something we do every year at peak season. We build in several Saturdays of overtime work to try to get the work done before it snows. And of course, even after it snows, we're going to continue picking those leaves up. Obviously, the snow that we had Monday and Sunday night melted. Didn't really interfere with pickup, but as we get further into the season, if it snows, it might slow us down for a day or two because our crews are out plowing and or salting. But they're going to keep going until typically around Christmas time. So please put the leaves where they belong, not in the street. And kudos to our highway crew. Bill, they always do a great job.
Thank you.
Matters of the attorney to the town.
Thank you, Supervisor. Nothing to report tonight. I would request an executive session for 3 matters leading to the promotion and employment of particular persons, and then there is a 4th additional matter regarding pending litigation of Clark versus Town of Brighton.
Thank you. Matters of the clerk.
Nothing with the clerk hat this evening. We just, again, want to just reiterate for the assessor's office that all of the exemption renewals for senior limited income exemptions and disability exemptions have gone out. So if you haven't gotten yours, please reach out to the office, 784-5215, and make sure and get one out to you. I have talked to a number of people that I know I personally put in the mail and have not received them, so I've remailed and emailed and trying to just make sure those happen. Then additionally, we sent out letters to everyone who gets Enhanced Star that doesn't already get those exemptions. And I won't have the final numbers on that until May 1st, probably, when all that the final roll comes out. But huge return on those. So I'm really excited to see how much that comes back. I was hoping that, Melanie and I, as we sent those out, we're hoping that, we'd find a few folks that we could help and maybe didn't know about those exemptions. But we're I think it's a lot more than we anticipated. So I think we've managed to help a ton of folks, which is why we're here, right?
It's a great
And that's excited that that'll to see what that final number works out to.
Thank you. Matters of the town board.
I'd like to share what I was up to today, along with Captain Karch from the BPD. We attended the Genesee Transportation Council's Regional Transportation Safety Summit. It was a room full of folks who are really focused on shifting the traditional approach to road design to safe system, focusing on preventing deaths and serious injuries, designing for human mistakes and limitations, sharing responsibility, and proactively identifying and addressing risks. I was able to sit on a panel to share what Brighton has done so far and what we aim to continue to do. The participants heard me sing the praises of the state DOT and the county DOT for being collaborative with us and becoming more so, especially on the restriping of Elmwood Avenue, where we've seen evidence of traffic calming, safer for walking, safer for biking, safer for biking on the state-designated bike route number 5. And we hope to see that extended to Monroe Avenue. Bike route number 5 also runs along there, and we hope the state will do that. So
We also saw it on Brighton Henrietta Town Line Road, where
Mm-hmm.
not only was it the town of Brighton collaborating with Monroe County, the town of Henrietta also
Exactly.
collaborated.
Yes, our neighbors are
Yep.
doing good
Yep.
work on that, too. Our neighbor supervisor, Bill Smith, was on that panel as well, and he was able to point out that thanks to sidewalk expansion in Pittsford, you can walk from one corner of the town of Pittsford all the way where it connects with Rush, I think, all the way to the Brighton border, and where it continues along into Brighton. One of the biggest points that that I wanted to drive home at that meeting, and again here, is that a lot of these safety elements not only make the streets more pleasant, safer to walk, safer to bike, safer to drive along, but they become catalysts for growth, for commercial development, for boosting traffic to existing businesses by literally slowing it just enough so you can see what businesses are on either side of the road. When you slow down, your peripheral vision expands, you see what's there, and then you stop there and you shop there. And so we keep dollars in Brighton, and everybody, and all boats get lifted. A wrong transportation mode, but you know what I mean. So it was a great great program. Captain Karch serves on, and I'm going to ask the chief to remind me the task force that he serves on.
It's Monroe County Traffic Safety Committee.
Yeah. So we've got all aspects of town focusing on the safety. It was good to have representation there.
Thanks for that update, and that's consistent with what we're looking at on Monroe Avenue. We're very fortunate. Monroe Avenue in Brighton is, throughout most of the stretch, the home of small businesses with strong residential communities in most cases on both sides right immediately in proximity to the avenue and to those businesses. You're right, those smaller businesses, they're not the big boxes with the big pedestal signs. We don't want big pedestal signs. But what we do want is traffic slowing, and your suggestion, and I think it's a good one, and I know it's something we've incorporated in our feedback to the state DOT, is to consider reducing the speed limit on Monroe Avenue as it is reconfigured in the coming years to 30 miles an hour, reflecting its role really as our main street and a street that is not designed as just a speedway cut through the town of Brighton. It is a street where people driving are coexisting with pedestrians, with bicycles, with transit, and we will continue to pound the table for better transit in Brighton from RTS. So I think the examples that we've set on the various other active transportation opportunities in Brighton will carry on through this. And by the way, since you were busy on that today, I don't know if anybody noticed, but the governor announced a new grant program basically for active transportation projects. And one project in particular immediately jumped to my mind when I saw it. We have a great plan for the improvement of the Multiversity Trail, the concept that was first engaged in our most recent comprehensive plan update, to improve, make more safe, better signage, the Lehigh Valley Trail and the Erie Canal Way Trail, the portion through the town of Brighton. Implementation of that will come at a significant expense, and that may be an opportunity, since we've got this great plan in place, to move forward with that grant application. So you and I and probably Matt and probably Glenn are going to be talking about that, I'm sure. Thank you for that, Christy.
Excellent.
If there's nothing more, thank you to our ASL.
Bill, if I
Oh,
might,
sorry.
I told the ambulance corps I was going to give them a shout out today and a thank you. I appeared to borrow some crutches, and it's available to the public. You just go in, they will fit you out by your height, and they'll even give you a little spin around on them. They can show you proper technique, which I'm all prepared for some minor surgery tomorrow. So thank you, ambulance corps.
Yeah, that's a great resource that, it's one of those questions that shows up regularly on Facebook. What do I do? I'm going to have surgery, or my, child is having, and it's a terrific resource that BVA has. I know the Maley household has used some of those.
And I expected kind of a hodgepodge of donations. No, they're all top-notch,
good stuff. Yeah.
brand-new stuff.
Thanks. Anything
That's
else?
not to say they won't take donations. If you have equipment in good condition that you no longer need, that is a great destination for it. So walkers, crutches, wheelchairs, the like.
Okay, thank you to our ASL interpreters. We, again, appreciate your service. Our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, because 2 weeks from tonight, Wednesday, would of course be the night before Thanksgiving, so we'll move it up to Tuesday, November 25th, right here at SUNY Empire State University. As John requested, can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment of particular people and the lawsuit that he referenced?
Bill, I move that we go into executive session to discuss employment of particular persons and a lawsuit now concluded.
Second?
Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Manning?
Aye. Thank you, everybody who is here tonight, and we'll see you in a little less than 2 weeks.
And hot off the press, the federal budget's going to the president's desk.